A meeting of the General Assembly is due to take place later today to discuss the conflict. Joining us live from New York is the Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister, Stéphane Dion. Mr. Dion, what are you trying to achieve here?
Thank you so much for this invitation. What we want to do is to give the opportunity to the international community at the General Assembly to put pressure in order to have two things: the cessation of hostilities and real access for humanitarian support for the population in need. And hopefully, once you will have that, it will be maybe possible to start again the negotiations for a real peace and a solution for the crisis in Syria. But for now, immediately, humanitarian access is very key.
Everything you've just said, the French ambassador to the United Nations could have said that 2 weeks ago now, perhaps 10 days ago, when they put together a UN Security Council resolution. It was vetoed by the Russians. Why will you succeed where the French arguably failed?
Because we need to try and try and try again. So what we are trying today is different than in the past. It will be a more collective expression of so many countries. We have 71 countries supporting our letter, and we may have more during the discussion. I think it will be a strong message that we want all the ones that are able to act positively to do so, including the Security Council.
How much frustration is there at the United Nations, not just, say, amongst the permanent 5 members of the UN Security Council, not just at the UN Security Council level, but amongst all the members that try and try and try again? There is no diplomatic success. There is never a silver bullet here that gets everyone in the same place.
You're right. The frustration is very high, but I would say the determination is also very high. So nobody wants to give up. Nobody wants to say, okay, it's a veto, it's blocked, it's stalled, and we'll move on to something else. We are very concerned about what is happening in Aleppo, and we want to have the cessation of hostilities, access to humanitarian support, and we want to send this message very clearly today.
Was there a point, or is there a point, that you could point to over the past, say, 2 years when the existing diplomatic structures failed the people of Aleppo, they failed the people of Syria? Because nobody could ever say Stéphane de Mistura has not brought energy and drive to the equation. Nobody could ever say most people on the UN Security Council have tried to do the same thing, and yet it always seems to be 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
I agree with you. If we look at the past, we may give up and say, oh, there is nothing to do. But we need to think about the future. And Mr. de Mistura will be today addressing the General Assembly. I think it's an additional opportunity for him to wake up everyone and to express the need to have a real ceasefire, a real cessation of hostilities that will allow the humanitarian support to reach the populations in need. 11 hours a day, as the Russians are proposing, well, it's a step that that is a good step, but it's not enough. It's not sufficient. We need at least to have 48 hours consecutively. It's a minimum to be sure that the humanitarian support will reach the populations.
And when this letter, when this communique passes across the desk of the Russian president, give us a sense. What's the paragraph, what's the sentence that's going to do the trick and get what you want? What is the content in that document that's going to achieve what so many efforts and initiatives have not achieved before?
To involve the General Assembly, all these countries, the international community is not only 5 countries, and it's not only the members of the Security Council, although we hope the Security Council, after this General Assembly meeting, will feel the pressure to find a solution that will allow the world to go ahead and to support the people of Aleppo.
Stéphane Dion there in New York, the Canadian Foreign Minister. Good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much for this invitation.